All right, so I found this article when I'm doing my research on where I come from, Jamaica. Right, I was doing my research and I came across the word Charabes, right, and Charabes led me to Garinagu, and this article says the Garinagu, 218 years of ongoing resistance, right, and in this article they speak of the three narratives that has been going on. Number one would be the intermarriage of the African explorers and Amerindian women, with the shipwreck of the Danish Dutch vessel off the coast of St. Vincent being number two, and number three would be escaped captives or maroons. Now, it says Dr. Ivan van Sertima, an Islamic scholar, thoroughly documented African explorers who traded with the native populations of Mexico, Central America, and the Caribbean prior to Christopher Columbus's voyages. Information can also be found in the works of Egyptian scholar Ibn Fadi al-Umari, who wrote about the two major transatlantic expeditions in 1342. During the time of the Mali Empire, Mansa King Abukari sent an initial expedition of 200 ships across the Atlantic. All but one vessel returned to Africa. Abukari subsequently abdicated his throne and led an expedition of 2,000 ships, 1,000 with his finest men, and a crew and 1,000 more laden with supplies and food to last 2 years. Now we're going to move on to the shipwreck narrative, right? According to the British Calendar of State Papers 1661, 1668, St. Vincent was inhabited by all Indians and some Negroes from the loss of two Spanish ships in 1635. 100 years later, in the 1795, then Governor of St. Vincent, Sir William Young, published an account of the Black Caribs in the island of St. Vincent. About a shipwreck, he claims that the shipwreck happened in 1675. No eyewitness accounts of these events are known to exist. Charles Shepherd, in an historical account of the island of St. Vincent, also promotes the shipwreck theory as a reason the phenotypically African people were on the island. In the Black Carib War, states that this claim was made merely to justify the British colonial expansion into St. Vincent to establish sugar plantations. Okay. Here's a picture of the police and the picture of, I guess, Garifuna. The third narrative. Runaway captives from the neighboring islands of St. Lucia, Guadeloupe, Martinique, Grenada, and Barbados, known in the English Caribbean as Maroons, made their way to Yemen at the height of slavery in the 1600s. Logs by European missionaries La Pex, Le Breton, and Labat indicate that in Dominica and St. Vincent, two groups exist, blacks and Indians. Lord Willoughby indicates that St. Vincent is covered with woods, Indians, and blacks. Philip Warner posits that there were 3,000 Negroes and no other island as many Indians. Christopher Johnson, in Diaspora Conversations, Black Carib Religion and Recovery Africa, writes of Africans reaching Yemen from Garinagu Carib raids on Puerto Rico in the 1600s. Due to the complex nature and development of the Garinagu culture, the narrative that fits our existence is the first one. Garinagu people are the descendants of West African explorer Mansa Abukari, fellow expeditioners of Amerindian people in the Circumcaribbean archipelago. This peaceful union born of trade eventually led to intermarriage in Dominica, Grenada, and the final stronghold of Europe, the Garifuna name for the island, St. Vincent. What this is saying that there's no evidence to support that they came over as slaves. You know, there's no evidence to support that the Negroes that they found in the islands came over as slaves. And I'm sure this narrative has been done all over the Caribbean. And as a matter of fact, it is like that right now. It's like that in the mainland where they're saying, well, you look like that because you're mixed. And no, that's not true. It's time for the truth to come out, you know? Um, and it says many scholars do not support the shipwreck narrative because of the lack of data in the French, Dutch, and Spanish archives to support this theory, espoused by the colonizers of St. Vincent, Sir William Young, Charles Shepherd. No archaeological proof exists to date such a occurrence. All right, so that's just a little article I wanted to share. Anyways, until next time.